Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talk2Rami. This is Rami, your host. Today is one of those days because we're going to talk about perseverance. We're going to talk about, consistency and dream and goals, everything. I got Elvis Fisher in the studio here in Austin, Texas. He's a former Orange Theory Fitness head coach, CEO, and the founder of Better You Performance, former NFL player, and name it. And the most important thing is an amazing friend with a big heart, and I love him. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, great intro. I don't know if I like that side eye coming at me from the.
I hope, I'm so happy that you're here, man. I'm so happy you're here. We were thinking about this for a long time and doing this for a long time. But tell us, who the hell is Elvis Fisher?
Well, that's how much time you got. How long is the podcast? Yeah. No, it's all good. Thank you for having me, Ramin. I appreciate you and the team here. Amazing at Black Ops Agency. I like the new name. It's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Who is Elvis Fisher? Elvis Fisher is a simple guy, right? I'm husband first, father second, coach third, right? So that's pretty much three things that sum up me in a nutshell. And we can go into each one of those facets if you like. But
yeah, I've known you for so many years since Orange Theory Fitness. You were in the head coach over there. And I remember your classes always was packed. Why was that?
Well, I think I don't want to toot my own horn, but this is the network to toot your own horn. But I think that one of the biggest things is just making a connection with people. I think that I have a good gift to be able to talk to people, connect with them, and then they are drawn back to me in a sense, right? So you combine that with a expertise, knowledge of fitness and exercise, that you have something, the product that they can utilize and help, and then you accompany that with the gift of gab, so to say, and talk to them, make them feel comfortable, make them feel like they're somebody, make them feel like they really enjoy being there in your presence. I think that that's a good mixture for success, and that's what makes a good coach.
Orange Theory Fitness is a big brand. And then after that, you decided to do your own thing, which is a Better You Performance, which is doing fantastic, doing great. And you are doing it right now. Where are you at with the Better You Performance? And what is Better You Performance? Because I love the name. I don't know. You said, you came up with name or mother-in-law or wife, but Better You, because it's got a lot of meaning into it. It's a being better you. Is that right?
Yeah, no, Better You Performance, it started, been a long time coming. The whole fitness background, I got into fitness right after I stopped playing football. And I mean fitness, I mean training the general pop, adults, kids, youth. I kind of got into that realm of just general fitness. I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to go my own direction, and I wanted to incorporate strength training for adults. Right, I wanted to have that locker room. I've been doing strength training since I was 13 years old, in and out of locker rooms, playing football, all sorts of sports. I just love that environment. No BS, having fun, being able to joke around, but working your ass off. I wanted to mimic that in not a boutique style, not like a flashy, we wear Lululemon here type style. I wanted to incorporate the gritty, down and dirty into what I wanted to do and make it high value, high touch points, and a lot of strength training, and actually focus on strength for people, because I think that a lot of people are lacking strength. So Better You is all about becoming the best version of yourself, right? So my master's degree is education of counseling psychology, emphasis sports psych. So it talks about the positive aspects of thinking right, doing right, and acting right in your sport. A lot of mental rehearsal, a lot of mental talk, and a lot of self-talk and self-imagery. So one of the things that I always wanted to do from when I was real young is become the best version of myself. So Better You, I could have it as a place of you can become a better version of yourself. We're always focused on a better you, becoming a better you. And then if you look at the logo, the B and the U is highlighted. That's actually shout out to my wife. She goes, you should highlight the B and the U, right? So make
Great
it pop.
Because
then the only time you can become the best version of yourself is if you are being you. And I think that being your highest self is being the best version of yourself. So it kind of incorporates itself.
And then, you were playing football like NFL, and what was that look like? And you got out of it, and what experience you learned from that you brought into the Better You Performance?
I mean, tons of lessons.
A lot of injuries.
tons of lessons. Biggest ones, I would, if I had to make just a short list of the biggest lessons from the football days is, consistency, right? You have to,
That's the key.
you got it, the consistency and just the grind, right? Everyone talks about the grind and your grind so hard. Yes, everybody has a hard grind, but I think that you just being consistent in whatever it is you do for weeks, months, years, decades, I think that consistency builds over time and it kind of compounds over time. So consistency is a big one. I learned how to think right, like think positively about myself and whatever task I'm performing. We know from studies and research and my background, we think a lot about like the mind and the mental aspects of sport and mental aspect of just being in your own head, right? You hear a lot of times athletes are being in their head and that's why they're kind of not playing well. That's true. But you can also be in your head on the flip side in a positive way. And you can find what's called like a flow state. And I think that not only can athletes have it, but if you want to be the best father, you get into a great flow state with your kids. If you want to be the best husband, right, you get into a flow state with your wife. I think that if you want to be the best coach, you talk about, the fun energy of the class and how you just work the room and all that. That is a form of flow state. And you just kind of get in that comfort of knowing what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, and then you attack it with full force. That's kind of how I approach all the aspects of my life, and like that carried over from athletics, right? So biggest one's probably consistency and just being positive and mental rehearsal in my own mind in a positive way versus thinking about all things are going to be, oh, woe is me, doomsday. Look on the flip side. You can have that same positive channel effect happen in your life.
I actually attended a couple of your classes, more than that, and your classes are different with anybody else or any fitness that I attended it, because I think your approach, as you had mentioned, your approach is the mind first and the body. Like you are really into building a mindset of your clients, the people you train, and then the body comes because you always tell me that everything comes from your mind, how you're going to prepare your mind to do and your body and manage your body. But achieving that and get to that mental state of the mind that you can control your body and get you going is not easy. How people can do that? I know there is no silver bullet. There is, I don't know, is it a secret? No, I don't know. I'm asking you. But how people, they can get to that mindset? Is it like, I'm tired of being fat, or this is what I got to do, this is for my life? Because exercise is like other stuff, is a commitment, is a mindset, and just move your butt.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing. Our sessions are called sweat sessions. We call them sweat strength sessions or any variation of sweat. Now, sweat is an
what do you call it that?
Acronym. Okay, so sweat stands for strength within everyone at all times.
Wow,
all right,
powerful.
So if you also spell sweat out, it has 5 letters, and that's the 5 stars in Better You Performance. It's kind of like our core values at Better You. So there's always strength within everyone at all times. Now, strength comes in many forms, many facets, right? I'm not just talking about physically being able to, deadlift 600 pounds, but I'm also talking about that, could be a mom who's super tired, who has 3 kids and stays home and still finds a way to get up and get her workout in. It could be the dad who works crazy hours from 5 to 5 and comes home and be able to read his, bedtime story to his kids, or, go to the store and pick up something for the family like that. Strength comes in many different facets. Strength comes with much more that goes into that than just being strong. But I believe that when people start to focus on their strength, a lot of other things in your life will fall into place, right? So when you start working out, and anyone who's ever done any sort of workout kind of realize, like, after a workout, right? No one ever feels bad after a workout.
No.
Right? You might feel like in the morning when you wake up, it could be early and like, Jesus, like I don't want to get up and do this. But once you actually physically make the choice to get up, put your clothes on, get out the door, drive to the gym, get in the class, and then start it. Once you finish the workout, no one ever feels bad after that. You're never like, man, I regretted that workout. I shouldn't have done that. It's like, no, they always feel really good. You're full of positive endorphins, and that bleeds over into other aspects of your day. So when you start your day, or even if you finish your day, if you have something to look forward to a workout, it doesn't matter, but you're more amped to make smarter choices when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your health, what you're putting in your brain, what you're putting in your body. All of it runs together. And I think that The secret sauce is something I can't remember who I heard this from. It's a book, and I can't remember the name of the book that I read. But pardon me for not quoting it. But it talks about stacking wins, little wins. Doesn't have to be big wins, but if you look in your life, everyone always has wins throughout the day, right? Just waking up. I mean, most of us would consider a win, correct? So I mean, like that could be win one of the day. And so throughout your day, the littlest things like I didn't have a donut for breakfast. I had some eggs. Boom, win. Awesome. Instead of watching TV for 20 minutes before I went to sleep, I read a book. Boom, win. I fed my mental capacity, right? Instead of, playing on my phone in the bathroom for an extra 30 minutes while you're using the restroom, right? You hurried up and finished what you were doing. Then you went and kind of like hung out with your spouse for a little extra time. Those are all wins, right? And the more that you can stack wins personally in your life, I think that the more that you are capable of being able to accept that you are a winner. And I think that most people just haven't accepted the fact that they are a winner yet. And that's a bad thing.
And why you think people, they not doing what you just said we're supposed to do? Saying it is easy. Yeah. Doing it is hard.
Yeah.
What are the obstacles? Like that can be, past life. It can be bad experiences, bad relationship, bad thing. Something, somehow, somewhere is stopping us. And I know that being there, done that, I'm sure that sometimes you don't feel it either. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get depressed. Sometimes you get demotivated. Yeah. And how we can get out of that hole, this is the thing. Is it just get up and move, or by things that we tell ourselves, or the stories we listen, or, that is stucking. Mm-hmm. Is happens.
Yeah, I think it's just a belief, an inner belief, right? So I think that, when we grow up and you just kind of, it's so hard to explain. It's hard to explain it, right? Because there is no secret sauce. There's no like, hey, do X, Y, and Z. All the gurus, like, you get up, you got to do a cold tub for an hour in the morning, and you read 45 minutes, and then it's like, okay, when does your day actually start, right? Some people can't do that stuff. So how do you pull yourself up out of the negative mindset that you have? And I think it just starts with the belief of that, it is possible not to feel that way. So when you're always looking at yourself and your life in a negative way, right? So like, as soon as you wake up, if you're already in the same familiar past of pain, right? So if you already know that you're going to wake up, that it's going to be early, it's going to be, you don't want to be up, you're going to feel drowsy, and I got to go to work, and I got to do this, and then I got to go do this. All these things are negatives that are on your mind before you even step foot out of the bed. So your body recognizes that as stress, and then your body will adjust accordingly in a negative way, because you're already putting yourself into a deficit for the day. And I'm a firm believer in, when you get up, you got to stack your wins, right? You got to think about all of the good that you have in life. And one thing that I try to tell clients, and I've had this conversation with other different high-level guys and gals that I've kind of got to know over the years, is writing down wins for the day, like before you go to bed. So
like physically,
I have a journal, and I've done this every day all this year. I've tried it. I have a whole composition notebook. It's damn near full
really
right
helping
now.
you?
Oh yeah. So I write down every win that I can think of for that day.
Like being grateful, or no, write it down.
Oh, I write it down. The top one, be grateful. So I'll be super specific, because I'm a believer in, like, if you want something in life, you got to be super specific with the universe to have like your goal, and so then you attract that energy. Super big into that. And so I write down specifically, like, hey, got up today and ran 3 miles. That's a win. Okay. Got home early, was able to hang with my daughters in the pool for an hour and a half. Boom, win. Got to have dinner as a family night. Boom, win. Got to go on a walk with my wife tonight. Boom, win. Signed up 2 people at the gym. Boom, win. Like, I write down all these wins, and then I also write down what I want to do in the winning category tomorrow. It doesn't necessarily mean that I need to achieve them tomorrow, but I'm already, before I go to bed, I am writing down what I'm expecting positive to happen tomorrow. So that way, that's the last thing I see when I go to bed. I go to bed, I wake up, and that's the first thing I'm thinking of, is what I want to do to win, not negative shit that I thought about X, Y, and Z down the road. I acknowledge the negative, but you got to move past it, because there's always a flip side to those.
Because based on your degree and your study and all the universities, this goes back to feed your mind, feed your body.
Yeah.
Like, basically what you're telling me, we need to feed our body. We need to feed our mind. Like, I had a friend, he said, we take a shower every day. Why? Yeah. To be clean. Mm-hmm. Why we don't exercise every day? Like, really?
That's wild.
Why you don't do exercise every day? to be more healthy. Like I told you, I start going to gym every day except Fridays. It was the first 2 weeks was very hard. I used to go to the gym, but I start going back based on your advice. And I'm 56 years old. I'm not getting younger, but it really helps me, man. When I come back, when I come to the office after a good workout and the shower and sauna, I'm fresh. My mind actually is ready to tackle the day. But sometimes, again, we're stuck. And what you telling me that just do these certain things and you're gonna get out of it. But the repetition is a mother of skills.
Yeah. Once again, the consistency of just doing it and building it over and over again, stacking your wins.
Have you ever got discouraged?
Oh yeah,
really?
Many times. The main reason why I even got into
what makes Elvis Fisher discouraged. That's important.
Probably the number one thing. I've gone through probably 17 at this point surgeries or injuries throughout my football.
Dear Lord, career. Are you serious?
Oh yeah, shoulders, knees, multiple knees.
During your football time?
Yep, during football, hands.
What happened?
Everything, back, neck, everything messed up.
Where you playing? Where you were playing?
I played left tackle, offensive line. I played at the University of Missouri. And so played with them for 6 years. This was before all the NILs and everyone got 6, 7, 8 years. I was one of only like 2 people that ever gotten like a 6th year. And so before the lead up to my senior year, the original senior year, right, I had shoulder surgeries and stuff, but nothing kept me from playing. I played with torn labrums. I played with hamstrings and played with ankles and all that. And I just got them fixed during the off season. So I didn't have to do spring ball. Shout out to the coaches out there. So I didn't have to practice during spring. And so you'd sit out and you just do your rehab and then you'd be ready for camp and play the next season. My senior year, going into my first senior year, that was when I was hyped up the most, right? Everyone sends their draft stock in to see what they're graded out to be. I was like a 2nd to 4th round draft pick. Estimate, projected, right? Yeah. All this is stupid bullshit projections. That doesn't mean nothing, but projected to be that. Mizzou was ranked that year. I mean, we were up there. We were coming off a really good 2011 season. We were we beat Oklahoma, number 1 team in the nation. We're killing it, right? We're coming off this awesome season. I was a team captain, top dog on campus, so to say, right? And I was going, playing, and I just was pass setting, and just like an idiot, my knee just snapped. Left knee, boom, buckled, fell over.
Oh my God.
Freaking out, couldn't walk on it. They had to cart me off. They kind of carted me off. I kind of was hanging on people, trying to get my ass back to the training room, and they cut my pants off because I couldn't move my leg at all. And so seeing my knee was literally it's supposed to be like your kneecaps here. It was just detached. It was just hanging off to the side. And so I was sitting there and I was talking to it's a crazy story. I'm gonna tag him in this. Casey, he's actually an online client of mine. He trains with Better You Performance online. Shout out to Casey. But he was one of the trainers, and he was the one that kind of helped me back into the field. Him and Rex Sharp. These were my athletic trainers at Mizzou. And I was looking at him. I was like, hey, I can't move my leg. When's it? But I was just hey, when's this gonna be fixed? Because we had a game in literally 10 days. This was end of camp. It was right around this time, and I was like, when can I get back on the field? And Casey just looked at me and was like, yeah, you may never get back on the field. May never, because it's a patella tendon rupture. It's just kind of the big one that goes from your quad all the way. It just snapped, and so he was like, you may never play again. And that, when you put your identity into something, and then that gets taken away, like athletics. This is why you see a lot of guys go through mental issues, and they stop playing ball due to injury. They get really big, or they gain a bunch of weight, or they just kind of get into that PTSD state of oh, woe is me. That's the negative route that I was on. I was very depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I got the surgery. I just kind of sat there doing painkillers and drinking and not living right, not living right. And so our strength coach at the time, his name's Pat Ivy. He's one of the forerunners, or the front runners, I guess, of the positive psychology at Missouri. And him and Dr. Rick McGuire just started the program, and he had just started talking about positive psychology and thinking right in sport, doing right. And one of his sayings was, "Where are you?" And he'd say, "Right here, right now." And that was one of the things you had to say. And we talked about being positive with yourself, having a different approach. And once I was I want to be in this more. So I was I think one of the first 2 or 3 people to sign up for the master's program. It was my master's degree, and it was just introduced at the University of Missouri. It originally was just for like Olympic level athletes. This was like brand new to college sports. This was back in 2012, so it hadn't been talked about yet. And I was like, I got to get in this. And I got in it with Rick McGuire, and I fell in love with it. Started reading all the books, all the material, started thinking about it, started thinking about why I feel like a piece of shit and how to not feel like one. And then I just looked at it a different way, right? I looked at things way different. I looked at things more or less, not why did this happen to me, but yeah, this should have happened to me. Like if any of my teammates that I wanted to have happen to, this should have happened to me because I can handle it.
Wow.
Like, and you just started, if you look at things in a different light, like, instead of, woe is me, it's like, yeah, this is me. This is what I need to do now. And this is my journey.
Was it hard transition for you?
Oh yeah. Well, at that time, so still remember now, I didn't know at that time you had to apply for another year. This is my senior year, my last year. So my draft stock tanked. All the teams tanked. I didn't play at all that year. Done. They replaced me. I was still like an honorary captain. They replaced me as a captain. So now now I feel like I'm off the team, right? So you kind of feel all this.
They don't matter the game.
You're done. And I didn't have any. So I didn't know if I was going to play again until like damn near like almost the end of the season. So like I'm just sitting
how
there.
You got back?
So honestly, I would literally do
with that knee
rehab and physical therapy. It took me probably, like 3 months before I could even move the knee again. So I had to be straight for like 3 months to let all that heal, and then getting full range of motion back in your patella is a grueling process. But I was doing rehab like 2-3 times a day. I mean, I would get in the pool. I was such a milestone to like ride a bike, to get that little pedal. So you'd push it with your strong leg, and then you'd come around, and you had to go backwards first because that was the one that felt the easiest to go backwards. But then to go that forward rotation, it hurt so bad. And that was so a big milestone was being able to ride the bike again. But I'd be in the pool every day, strengthening it every day, full range of motion stuff every day, like just working with that training style. That's why I have such a high respect for a lot of those old guys at Mizzou, because man, I work with them multiple times a day. I'd be in there because I was a super senior. I graduated early, and I wasn't planning on doing a master's degree because I was just you only had to take like 6 credits. So it's like 2 classes. So I only had 2 classes, and it was like, super kind of just chill. That's what my approach was to the senior year, because I was like, I'm going to go play ball. I'm going to go play pro, make all this money, be the man, right? That was what I was thinking. And it didn't work out like that. And so when I was like getting real serious into my, degree, because I was like, man, I'm gonna milk the university, right? They use the shit out of me, I'm gonna use them. So I got free education out of it. And so I was like, I'm gonna get my master's. So I kind of put the pedal to the metal and took a lot of classes, and came out that I was able to play again. And then that senior year, I almost want to sum it up to like, man, I was almost like too nonchalant, like too, everyone talks about like winning is everything, gotta win, kill to win. I'm a competitor at a high level. I'm a competitor in my personal life.
You were not thinking about winning?
I'm saying like I was a competitor on the field and a competitor off the field. I love to win, but losing didn't affect me anymore. It didn't matter to me.
How? Why?
Like it just didn't I don't know. It was a weird mindset. I was just kind of like, yeah, because I didn't like identify as like, I wasn't all in on a football player. I knew that there was more to life than just football. But I played at such a higher level because of that mindset. It was weird. I was almost like I was transcendent a little bit. Like you kind of feel like
I want to play. I don't care if I win or lose, but I want to do my best.
I wouldn't go that far. I did give a lot about winning. I mean, think about it. I'm doing rehab.
You're very
training
competitive.
3 times a day. I'm still strength training. I'm still doing all things. I got back to where I was, and I still played in the league. So like I got back to playing football when they told me I'd never play again. So like
that's
very
how you
competitive.
went to pro.
Yeah, very competitive. And I just, but losing did not affect me. I didn't care. It wasn't that I didn't care. It wouldn't affect me in the present, because I feel like I had like how like this very, David Goggins says a calloused mind.
Yeah.
But I know exactly that feeling.
His shin is bleeding.
Like
He's still running.
You just don't care. And so like, none of that matters. It's not like I'm not trying to sit on like a moral high ground. I'm not trying to be like, winning doesn't matter. No, I got voted team captain. So I was like one of like 2-time team captains in Mizzou history. Right. And so like the team obviously respected me. The coaching staff respected me. I didn't put all of my identity into if we got to win or lose. I just wanted to go out there and have fun playing because I knew on the flip side what it was like to have this taken away. So now, like, I approach life like, hey, you know what could be worse than living this day today? Death. Like, you know, that's the flip side, not being here anymore. So I was at a point where I knew I wasn't going to play anymore. So I already knew what the Undertaker was like. And I was like, well, hell, a loss is still better than not playing at all.
Do you believe that you have to lose in order to win?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely an appreciation to winning, an appreciation for the quote unquote grind. They don't really get unless you lose. And I think that a lot of high level achievers and, you know, businessmen and high level athletes, they've all experienced loss. Everyone's experienced a loss. And I think that, I don't know if it's like a rite of passage, but it's just something that you go through. You have to learn to deal with because life's full of losses.
Even Tom Brady lost.
Everything. I mean, like the greatest in the world. Any example of anybody that's done anything great has lost.
What is the things about, you know, I'm not really, you know, educated about the football, but you are. And what is things, you know, is being a football player in the United States, you know, I'm an immigrant. And, you know, we are soccer guys. We call it football, but you guys, you talk football. What is these things that in here that is all about? Is it about the fame? Is it about the game? Is it, what is it that everybody, even my younger son, said, I want to be a football player. Yeah. What is it? Is it because of the string? Is it because of the...
Man, I think it's the fact of...
Because you coach a lot of young people now.
I think, you know...
You don't ask them why you want to be a football player?
Oh, yeah. Now, their answers differ from what mine... You know, they want to be it because, you know, young boys, they think that that's like... You know, to be honest, football players are modern-day gladiators. And it's rooted... So? Oh, yeah. It's rooted in your... It's like all the great stories, you know, you hear of like these you know, linebackers and linemen, they play through injury, they're bleeding, it's rain. Every kind of time you think of like a grit game, you think of it like being muddy, it's raining, I got blood coming out my nose. You know what I mean? Like you think of the old school football, people like that. And it's definitely something that I think is just, you know, kind of rooted in your DNA a little bit. And you kind of want to be, you know, who's top dog, and you get to actually like hit people. And I think that sometimes...
That give you kind of satisfaction?
Oh yeah, the reason I started playing ball was because you were able to hit people. I just wanted to...
Because, you know, you were 324 pounds?
Mm-hmm. My heaviest ever was 321. But I wasn't that in college. I played in college.
I don't want anybody even touch me with that weight and just come toward me.
I mean, you got to like, it's, yeah, you have to like physical contact. And I think that's why I enjoyed football, because it was pure, right? I mean, like, you line up, you head up with a guy, and it's who's going to win. I mean, you know, it's very, it's definitely very brutal.
When you are, this is always when I ask you that. When you're like during the football times and you are doing on your knee and you're looking at a guy's eye, what's going on in your mind? Is it a ball or is it, how am I gonna destroy this bastard? Well,
it's all about controlled aggression, is what my dad would used to say. He'd be like, controlled aggression, right? Between the whistle, you know, from the whistle to snap, that's one thing. But then from like the snap to the whistle is another. So like you got to play from the snap to the whistle, because when that ball's hiked, game on. And then when the whistle blows, you got to control it. You can't just keep hitting people whenever you want. Like it's just got to be controlled aggression. So, you know, what am I thinking? Honestly, you're just going through, like, football is so much like a mental game, and there's such a huge jump from like high school to college, and there's even a bigger jump from college to pro. Like people think it's not that different. Okay, it's way different. Like it's way, way different. And I only played for a year, and I really didn't even really play. I got hurt again. Like, so what I did to my left knee, I did to my right knee
during the pro
during my pro time. And so like I technically was still on the team, and so. Legally, if that team...
What team you were in?
The New England Patriots.
Oh, Tom Brady.
So legally, if like they went to the Super Bowl, I would have got a ring. All that. Like they went to the playoffs that year, you get pay bonuses. Like I was on the team. I was on IR. So like they had to like, you know, you that's what it was. But I like to tell people like, yeah, I was on the team. No, I wasn't on the team. I didn't play at all. But the same shit happened. But football, you're just thinking about... It goes back to consistency, right? Because you have to hear it, you have to see it, you have to be able to think on the fly. And it has to be so routine that you are so competent in your ability, you're confident in your ability that you build competence. So like you need to know exactly what to do, where to be, what to do against these stacks, what to do if you hear a check. Because when you go up to the line, you may go up to the line with 2 or 3 different plays in your head that could be called off of whatever front they're going to come. And so like when you hear like at the line, the QB like checking down or doing calls, some of that is decoy, but some of that there's a trigger word, and the trigger word could change every play. And so like if you don't know the trigger words or what he said in the huddle or whatever it is, and then he changes the play, you don't know the play. So you have to be super smart and intelligent in what you're doing. You have to be very confident in what the playbook is. And then once you do that, just go play ball, right? And you just go play the game that you've been playing since you were a young kid, right? And O and D linemen are a little different because no one, and I coach a lot of offensive and defensive linemen in high school now, and like they always have to work on skill, and everyone's like, oh, these athletes, like the running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, these guys in high school, these are what everyone wants to aspire to be, because nobody grew up. I didn't grow up at 10 years old being like, damn, I want to be like Matt Light on the Patriots. He's a all-pro left tackle. Just, nobody, you don't even know that, right? He's like, he's won like 3 Super Bowls. You don't even know who that is. And that's the guy that blocked blindside for Tom Brady for fucking 10 years, right? Yeah. So like nobody knows who that guy is. So you don't grow up wanting to pass set. You don't grow up wanting to like use your hands and punch once and then like know the play and all this. You don't grow up snapping the football. So it's a learned skill. So linemen, I have a near and dear spot in my heart for, because linemen truly love the unsung hero doing the dirty work. No, never getting recognized for doing the good, but always getting blamed if something bad happens. And I think that reigns true for a lot of men in society too, right? And men don't really get a lot of praise for what they do, and that's why I resonate with that.
You by listening to you, it's fascinating stories, man. You got, and it's amazing. But you gain all this experience. You went through all that stuff. Let's talk about. Okay, now you got all this, and we all make models based on our past experiences. Mm-hmm. Life model, business model. Mm-hmm. Now Elvis Fisher got all this experience being a defense, line of defense, doing that, tackle, all that stuff. Mindset, how you take this, apply to today as an entrepreneur. Yeah. With that mindset, because this show is about the stories and how we can learn from each other. There's a learning platform for all of us, including myself, which is I learn a lot. Yeah. How you apply all that experiences, because some people out there, they have different experiences in life. Me, military. You, sport. How you use that as your model, the stuff that you learn. Now you apply it as being an owner, CEO, founder, entrepreneur. Yep. Is it helping you, or is it really?
Oh yeah, no. So there's a billion overlaps, right? The easy ones off the top of your head, you can see I'm a competitor, right? So I do want to win, but I also don't care really too much about the losses, because I know that I'm going to get more wins than losses over my career. I just have a belief going into that. I never went into a football game thinking I was going to lose any snap. I didn't think I was ever going to lose a play. I didn't visualize myself losing. I don't visualize myself losing in business neither. Now, I don't have a business degree. I didn't know shit about business. I don't have a.
Yeah, you don't need a degree.
I don't know. I don't know finances. I know none of that. But when I started playing football, I didn't know none of that either. So it's all learned skills. And what was the skills when I started playing ball was surrounding myself with the veteran guys, the guys that knew how to play the position, and just watching them learning and moving. In business as well, I may not know how to. When I first started, I didn't know anything about like finding a gym or how to find space for a gym or what equipment to use. All I knew is I had a passion for working out, and I knew that I had a gift to like talk to people and get them to work out. So like I knew that people were attracted to me to do that. So when it came to business, I needed to surround myself with people who have done it. So I, paid for mentor programs, you got to pay to play, right? Same with sports. You got to pay to play. You got to pay to go to the parties. You got to pay to go to the clubs. Same thing here. You got to pay to kind of get in those rooms with people. So I've been very fortunate to be around people who kind of have a good sense of all the all the things that you need in order to be successful in business, right? I've been able to learn from them and pick that and then apply it to me. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So every level that you go through, there's new stuff to learn. And I know it's everybody that is beneath you talking shit, saying you don't belong there, you don't deserve it. You're trying to bring you back down to them because they're stuck in their hell. But when I'm trying to level up and go to the next room and go to the next thing and next phase, they're up there saying, yo, come on, plenty of room for everybody up here. Come on. It's just a different belief. And once again, in order to believe that level, like, it's just stacking wins. Like when I started out, doing Better You, I didn't think.
You started from your garage.
Started from a park, right?
Park?
TRX strap around a
Yeah,
fucking tree branch and a couple dumbbells. Okay, so like one client, and then that turned into like 3 in my garage. And so I worked for a previous fitness company, and my original goal when I started Better You was to just make what I made at the previous. I just wanted to make that salary. And I did that in like 3 months, like super quick. And then I was like, oh, what do I do now? My goal of owning a 3,200 square foot facility that does, you talk about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month. You talk about these businesses that generate a lot of revenue. I never thought I would ever, though that wasn't even a goal to make, you talk about these businesses doing 100K a month. Like think about that statement, 100K a month, right? People struggle to make 50K a year, and I'm very aware of that. But the scary thing is in life about beliefs is not only do like when people hear 100K a month, they might, I'll never be there. They're already shutting themselves down. But I also fear the people who haven't even had that thought in their mind. Like me 5 years ago, didn't even have the thought in their mind.
That was too much. Yeah.
It wasn't even a thing. Wasn't even a thing. When you're making 50K a year and you're just kind of 100K a month sounds so ridiculously dumb. Like it just sounds.
It's just not real.
It's so not real. And then, I have friends and stuff like that now. They're like, you ever go on Zillow and you set the ticker to like 10 million and see what's out there, especially here in Austin. There's 10, 20, 30, 40 million. And so like, instead of now, like I've done that before, and they'll be like, man, must be nice living like that. But I'm already thinking like, okay, if that house is 40 million, okay, what's 3% of that? How do I get just 3% of that and then make that? Like you start doing the math, anything's possible. You start doing the math. And then all you have to do is work backwards from whatever your goal is, work backwards to where it's ground level to where you're at today, and just stack those wins all the way along.
And then get your mind ready for it.
Get your mind ready. And it's the same thing with sports, right? Why do you think athletes watch a bunch of film? Why do you think they practice a whole bunch? Why do they go over their playbook? Same thing in business. Why do you think as a gym owner, I'd go to every gym in Austin area. I go see what they're doing. I want to see what they're doing. When I have guys come in to solicit stuff at my house, like, selling solar panels or selling freaking bug spray or the next best fucking umbrella, I listen to their pitch. I want to hear what they have to say. I want to hear how they're presenting their business because I want to learn from it.
Basically, what you're telling me as a business owner or entrepreneur, you have to be open. You have to be open,
never
even if you're a competitor.
You never learn it all. Look, I have a gym now. I have a gym now with 5 employees. Amazing. I feel like this vehicle of Better You Performance is far greater than I ever thought it was. And it now is providing for other families. That's a whole different thing that I never knew. It wasn't even a thought.
That's the value
but
that
now
you
that
created.
it is that, I'm like, holy shit, now I want to work 10 times harder because this is providing for those people and those people are providing for these people. And it's just layers to that. And so if you ever think that you get to a point where you know it all or you think you're the man, which quite frankly, not for nothing, if you want to be 100% honest, back in my first senior year, when I thought I was going to go pro, thought I was the fucking man, nothing could hurt me, I was untouchable, talking to whoever I want to talk to, what happened? Got taken away. So if you think that you're too cocky, it'll get taken away. You think you're done learning, you don't have to study. I thought I didn't have to go do extra film study. I knew the playbook. I've been in this system for 5 years. I'm the team captain. I know this shit like the back of my hand. Taken away. Same thing with business. Now I know that lesson. So the second I stop, people are like, why do you keep moving up? And you always got to be challenged. You always got to do something different. My wife is like, you always got to have something new going on. Yeah, because the second that I realize, like,
you are a
the second that I'm sitting there,
son of a bitch.
Man, if I ever caught myself just sitting on a beach somewhere saying, this is it. I'm only 34 years old. I'm gonna get up and just do some push-ups and go read something because I gotta go do something different. I have to always be doing something.
You were always like that when you're growing up?
No. These are all. Nobody's born with that. They're all skill sets. Skills are learnable. You can learn anything you want in this life.
Attitude, you have it or you don't.
Yeah, attitude is great. Skills, attitude is a skill as well, and you have to practice it. Skills, if you don't use them, they go away. You can do whatever you want. You can literally Google anything you want. How do you think like sales, building, contracts, all that stuff? I just Googled it first.
And what is your plan for Better You Performance? Where are you going to take this? Because you are helping so many people. I read your article, I read your, the Google reviews, and I know you and the people I work out. And this is amazing that you always say Better You Performance. It is not
Not just a gym,
Yeah.
it's a lifestyle. Come on,
It's
you
a
gotta give us somebody-
lifestyle.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love that. I love
For those
that.
of you that don't know, Ramin, he had said this.
No.
Don't do
It's-
that.
it's-
Don't
it's-
be modest. Here.
No.
This is your
if-
podcast.
No,
What's
no.
your name on the wall?
No, it's both of us. But
Ramin, everyone has a story.
really,
It's a lifestyle.
yeah, it's like your
Yeah.
your thing is a lifestyle because 80% your thing is a mindset, and I love that because I have seen you in action again. You go talk to these people. How you doing? Oh, you gotta give me one more. You know, don't give up. Don't give up. This is you came here because you want to do this, right? Yeah. That's really motivating for people. Mm-hmm. You go to to like a normal gym or chains. You just work out and nobody's going to come and tell you. I'm not saying they're bad, but the environment is everything.
Yep. No, it's bad. I mean, literally the workouts, you can Google workouts.
Yeah,
you can go outside in your garage right now, do push-ups, sit-ups, squats. But the reason, that people need people like me and our training staff is because they won't do it. People just won't do the hard stuff. So they're not paying for the gym. They're not paying to your program. They're paying for the accountability to hold their ass to
Amen.
it. Right. So that's why I understand that. I know they're not just paying to use my barbells. They're not paying just to have, I think we have great programming at Better You, of course. I think it's the best ever, but they're not paying for that. The average person doesn't give a damn about what percentage we're using, if it's week 3 of the wave that we're doing and we need to rotate in, what new exercise we add in. They don't care about that. Nobody cares about that. They care about how they feel before and after the workout, and they care that you are holding them accountable to getting their butt in here and doing it. And then they see a change.
That's exactly what I mean by, finding a good place, go and actually they care about you. Yeah. Like my wife, she's your clients and she loves it. And
the best.
And she always says that when I go there, I feel like I'm home and somebody actually cares about me and about my body, my future, what I want to reach and my goals and dreams. And that's good because we all need that right now.
Well,
we all have challenges.
Yes.
We all have downtimes. We all have
everybody
our disappointments, but we need that. We need somebody who can just say, how can I help you? You can do better.
100% value exchange.
Yep.
I don't do, someplace, companies or businesses will rope you into a year-long contract, 10-year contract. You're with us for 10 years, good or bad.
It's ridiculous.
Our memberships are month to month, and we're not $10 a month, and I make it that way because if it was $10 a month, you would never bring your ass. There's nothing holding your foot to the fire, right? You're paying for us to be there for you in your darkest times.
Are you worth it? Yeah, you buy a Porsche and you buy a Lamborghini, you're going to have a towel and wipe it all the time.
Yeah. And so I'm not in the business of having thousands of members that never utilize the program.
But you changed 100 people's life.
I'm in the business of having 100 people who I'm in a consistent contact with, and they are coming,
you become part of the family.
99, we're part of the family. And so at that point, if you use that model, that's the Better You model, is like getting people the best results they can, giving them the results first. They come in, they sign up, they're excited. All that is just motivation. Motivation is bullshit. It fades, it goes away. Consistency is where you actually get your results in. So keeping them consistent, and then after 6 to 12 weeks, they see the results, they saw the benefit, they realize the return on their investment was good, and then they'll market for you.
This is the ultimate goal for Better You Performance. What is the horizon look like?
Really? The horizon for Better You, I would love to have. Now that I see what one Better You can provide for coaches and then clients alone, all that, I would love to have multiple Better Yous. It'd be great. Multiple Better You performances for adult fitness and our youth programming. Right, I'm trying to do more on the mindset realm for our youth performance. Right? Try to get to the kids early. I feel like I was almost too late when I was, at that point I was in my 20s, right? It's almost like too late for some. They're already kind of stuck in your ways. If you can get to kids when they're, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you can get to them early and change their lives in a positive manner. And if I was thinking like this when I was 14, I'd be a completely different game changer by the time you're 34. Like it's just the time factor. I didn't start till I was 21, 22, right? So like if you just add 10 years on top of that, just imagine where you'd be. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I want to build those skills for our youth performance program. I want to also just continue to be a role model, not only for the kids and the parents and all that. I want to be a role model for my own kids, right? How am I going to look into my daughter's eyes when she comes to me and says, Daddy, we were at school today and this was so hard. I felt like I was over. And what am I supposed to tell her if I fucking gave up? Like, what am I supposed to tell her?
That's so powerful, man.
What am I supposed to tell her?
And I know you can do it because I always admire your hard work, your intelligence, and your heart and what you do for other people. You do it with no expectation. I have seen you in action. I have seen you talk to people, guide them, coach them, and help them. Myself, one of them. And I know you're going to get there. I promise you. You're going to go there, and I'm saying this right now. We're going to see that. But if people, they're going to find you, I'm sure, betteryouperformance.com.
Oh, yeah.
And your Instagram.
Yep, betteryouperformance.com. You can follow along Better You Perform, or at Better You Performance on Instagram, at Better You Perform on Facebook, Better You Performance on TikTok, right? Better You Performance on YouTube, all of that.
Well, I can tell you, folks, the listeners and the viewers right now you're watching, I can tell you this. You send Elvis a message. I'm not advertising for him, but he's the kind of guy that will respond and actually help you with no expectation.
It's actually me responding.
Yeah, it's
Some people think it's a bot.
Responding and helping you.
Yeah.
And because I did that, and many
it
of
goes
my
to this
friends,
phone. This is the one it goes to.
Many of my friends, they did that, and you were very responsive, and you help people, and this is all matters. You and I, we can change even one person's life. That's all matters.
It's worth it.
That's worth it. And
it's worth it.
That's it, man. To your future, to better your performance, which is. It's not a gym. It's a lifestyle, brother.
I like it, baby. That's right.
A lifestyle.
Shout out to Rami.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
You.
Appreciate you.
I'm so happy that you came, man.
Oh, yeah. Happy to be here.
Buddy.